Chris Cillizza, writer for the Washington Post, wrote an interesting article yesterday about some of the rumors that Hillary Clinton might run in 2020. Oh boy. Now, what is he going to say? Well, surprisingly, not what you think he would say. First, he dives into the rumor by pointing towards a piece that was published in Politico. Now, the piece he references cited the scaling back of the Clinton Global Initiative and her plans to write a seventh book as evidence that she will be running for 2020. Now, the writer, Matt Latimer, concludes that, quote, yes, barring some calamity, Clinton is running. And this brave columnist will go one step further. Not only will Clinton run again, she has an excellent shot at getting the Democratic Party nomination again. And to that, I say, oh, God. Really? Really? This guy? No, this guy's living in an alternate reality. Okay? Look, let me tell you. Let me ask you a question. You want 8 years of Trump? This is how you get 8 years of Trump. People like that. No, Hillary, go ahead and run. No. Yeah, okay. This is Donald Trump's wet dream. Like, oh, running against Hillary again? Yeah. Stupid idea. Ridiculous. Disastrous idea. So again, what does Cillizza have to say about this? Well, he says, quote, wrong. And not just wrong on Clinton running again, but wrong on the fact that if she runs, she could or would have the inside track on the Democratic nomination. Now, he continues by saying, ask yourself a simple question. Why? As in, why would she run again? Well, the answer is pretty simple. She likes power. She wants to go down as the first woman president. Look, some people find that really appealing. She finds it super appealing because then she gets her name in the history books and creates a huge legacy for her. Because she's already got all the money in the world. Now what it comes down to is legacy. I want a legacy. Well, we don't want that legacy. That legacy sucks. But again, I think that's the answer to his rhetorical question. Now, Cillizza says, continued, he says, quote, Clinton has now lost twice in the runs for the White House, and they weren't just defeats. They were defeats of the devastating variety. Devastating indeed. Let me get into the details of what he spells out. Quote, in 2008, Clinton was not only seen as a clear favorite, but up until December 2007, it looked like she would come cruise to the nomination as then Senator Barack Obama struggled to energize his supporters. Fast forward a few months, and it was clear that Clinton was going to lose on delegates alone. But first, she chose to slug it out all the way until June before bowing to the inevitable. Then came 2016, when Clinton, again, was seen as the clear favorite for not only the Democratic nomination, but also the White House. The Democratic field was significantly less talented than 8 years prior, but Clinton was then able to put them away. And Bernie Sanders pushed the nomination all the way to the bitter end. Now, look, right there, I do have to address. He's throwing shade at Bernie Sanders. Oh, they were underwhelming. The Democratic field, less talented. And I guess, yeah, you're throwing shade at Jim Webb, as well as Martin O'Malley. And then there's the other guy, I forget his name. I think his dog died before a vote or something. But anyway, that's how much I remember this guy. Lincoln Chafee. There you go. Feel the chafe. Well, we all felt a little chafed after 2016. But anyway, Bernie Sanders, however, was the strongest in the field. This guy was an unknown senator from Vermont with frumpy hair and who called himself a socialist. In normal political circles, this guy would lose. However, even though he had the entire establishment arrayed against him, nearly every senator, nearly every super delegate, etc., were against him, and still this guy made up a 60-point lead. That is amazing. This guy. And I know he's a Democratic socialist, but Claire McCaskill, okay, oh, he's a socialist. He's a socialist? A lot of people didn't care. Again, since he made up that 60-point lead and pushed her all the way, he nearly beat her, right? But, of course, keep throwing shade at Bernie Sanders. Keep doing that, Washington Post. Keep doing that, Chris Cillizza. Ignore his success at your peril. I'm just saying. Now, he continues. In the general election, Clinton was regarded as a massive favorite against Donald Trump, who did literally the opposite of what every seasoned campaign aide told him to do for the duration of the campaign. He was engulfed by a scandal regarding sexist comments caught by an Access Hollywood Mike. Of course, if you guys don't remember, it is...
Grab him by the pussy?
Yeah, that comment. And then, not only that, but she drastically outspent him everywhere. Basically, she had all the money. She had the so-called money advantage, and it was still terrible. She did not lose. Or I'm sorry, she did not win. She lost pretty badly. Polling showed that she would win easily, and she lost. One loss like that, Cillizza says, would be more than enough for most politicians. Two is approaching Greek-level tragedies. Now, you think that might be enough to make her think, hey, this whole president thing, maybe not going to work out. Not going to happen. Maybe I could do something else. Ironically, of course, she was beaten by everybody who ran as a populist. Maybe that should tell the DNC that, hey, people hate the establishment and want real progressive change. They don't want the status quo. They want something absolutely 100% different. Now, here's one thing that he gets wrong on this that I have to point out. He said the only possible answer is that Clinton is deeply committed to public service. Again, right. Okay, man. Sure. Public service or having the public service her. Just saying. Now, he continues, I'd argue that there are lots of ways that someone as high profile as Clinton could remain relevant to the country and her party without running again. So he's giving, obviously, some tips and pointers. He says, national spokeswoman, fundraiser, policy maven, key endorser. No. Chris. What part of Clintonism is toxic don't you fucking understand? No. The biggest service that she could do for the Democratic Party right now is to leave it. Gone. Never come back.
You're kicking me out the door.
Get out.
You're kicking me
Get
out.
out. We don't need that anymore. In fact, you are toxic to the entire Democratic brand. It's time to go. And look, I don't blame Cillizza for coming to those conclusions. Again, this guy sits in the establishment bubble where Hillary Clinton is respected. But look, even he is starting to get it a little bit in this next line. Quote, if Clinton shows signs that she was truly interested in running, Democrats should make very clear that they are not interested. Clinton ran 2 national campaigns, and each she looked on paper to be a sure thing. In each, she didn't win. Why? Because there was something about her that people didn't like or trust. Yeah, absolutely. Her email problems in this past campaign exacerbated that problem, to be sure, but there was always an undercurrent of distrust surrounding her. What we know about politics is that perceptions people have of politicians rarely change. Mitt Romney, for example, had he run in 2016, would have been saddled with the out-of-touch rich guy label that he had to wear in 2012. Because he was an out-of-touch rich guy. Just saying. Now, John Kerry, of course, had he run in 2008, would be the, quote, Swiss cheese ordering, windsurfing Boston Brahmin. Okay. So too with Clinton. The second she started to show interest in running for president again, people would likely remember all the things that they didn't like about her. The same trust and likability issues would dog her. She would be forced to grapple with perception issues beyond her control to fix. And as the last 2 campaigns have proven, Clinton simply lacks the candidate skills, and they are significant. To have any chance of fundamentally altering the narrative about her, had she been able to do so, she would have certainly done it in time for the 2016 race. And then, of course, Cillizza finally addresses what I think was the biggest driver in Hillary Clinton's loss. Quote, Trump beat Clinton with a simple message. She is the status quo you hate. I am radical change. She's a politician. I am not. She is of Washington. I hate Washington. Finally. You kind of get it. The people are tired of establishment politics. And again, that is the number one reason I believe that Hillary Clinton lost. People were tired of her. She was the face of the establishment. And that's why Bernie Sanders did so well, by the way. He polled better than Trump. And this is why Hillary didn't. See, Bernie Sanders presented change. Hillary Clinton presented the status quo. Now, he goes on to argue how you're supposed to beat Trump. He said the best way for Democrats to beat Trump, to my mind, is to not allow him to claim the outsider mantle again. Nominating Clinton would do just that. Sure, Trump will have spent 4 years in Washington by 2020, but Clinton, in the eyes of lots and lots of voters, will never be able to shake the image of being a traditional Washington politician. It's exactly the sort of race Trump wants to run, against Washington, but needing 4 more years to truly overhaul it. And I think his analysis on that particular piece is spot on. Donald Trump wants to run against another establishment politician because it's the same message. His message of, yeah, I'm not one of those guys. I just need a little bit more time to really clean up Washington. This, what we're doing here, putting Goldman Sachs in, that's nothing. That's nothing. No, we're going to do 4 more years. I'm still the outsider guy. Trust me. Believe me. Now, Cillizza continues, with the simple fact that the public has had 2 chances to elect Hillary Clinton president. Neither time has it done so. You can argue forever about her relative qualifications and how she has worked her entire life to hold that one job. But this is a democracy where the Electoral College vote decides who the president is. And twice, the public has chosen someone other than Clinton. That is just a reality. Now, he ends it by saying, quote, Clinton should not, and I believe will not, run again in 2020, but Democrats would be foolish to again place all their bets on Clinton. That time has passed. And so with that statement right there, I 100% agree. It is not the time to run Clinton. If she tries, boot her out. You got to go. You've lost twice disastrously. You want 4 more years of Trump? You're going to get 4 more years of Trump if you go with Hillary Clinton. And again, this is Chris Cillizza from the Washington Post saying this. So, okay, what do they actually do if they actually want to beat Trump? Well, I think the Democrats should run a populist progressive. See, because that's actually what the people want. See, fundamental progressive change. Not establishment change. Not change on the outside, continuity on the inside. We're done with that. We're tired of that. We actually want a real progressive. And again, in this article, there's no other mention of Bernie Sanders other than that little dig. See, and there's no mention of how he pulled better against Trump, has all the qualities that Clinton lacked, and the very things that he pointed out that Clinton was criticized for. Trustworthiness, authenticity, and the fact that, of course, Bernie Sanders is not your standard politician. He is actually honest and doesn't want to pander. Again, Hillary Clinton would pander to anybody. Oh, I got my hot sauce in my purse. I'm your abuela. He ain't my abuela. Ain't my abuela at all. Whoever she's talking to, pander. Bernie Sanders, when asked and I go back to a town hall that he did with Ted Cruz, he was asked a question. Hey, I own a business. Would you make me pay for my employees' health insurance? He says, you're not going to like this question. You're not going to like this answer. Yes, if you have 50 employees, you need to give them health insurance. Doesn't matter. That's your job as an employee or an employer, to be able to care for your employees. So, again, that's something that Bernie Sanders, most politicians won't do, but that Bernie Sanders actually did. He'd be like, yeah, I don't care if you don't like the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give it to you straight up. And that's what we appreciate, and that's what we love. But again, he can also reach out to some Trump supporters, not the true believers, but for the people that were so frustrated with the establishment that Hillary Clinton represented and the swamp that they decided to vote for radical change. They threw the brick through the window. And until they come to realize that, of course, the Democrats could run another faux-gressive that will do change on the outside, but continuity on the inside, and continue to lose their asses off. Or they could actually give up big money and run a true progressive in 2020 that will effectively annihilate Donald Trump. That's the direction that we're trying to push them in. Again, people like Cillizza in the Washington bubble, they're actually starting to get it a little bit, but they're not quite there. So we're going to have to continue to help them until they see that, oh, right, the people actually want a populist. They don't want another fake politician. The era of fake politicians is over. It's time to start running real people, real progressives, and get that corporate, that donor money the hell out of there. That's the only way to go forward in the future. And let's hope the DNC and the Washington elite actually start to get it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.